Welcome to our channel! Today we're diving into a topic that's about as fun as a weekend at Mar-a-Lago, and twice as controversial. We're talking about the top 10 countries where Russian citizens are currently less welcome than a fart in a spacesuit. This is about the very real, very serious geopolitical tensions following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So, buckle up comrades as we unpack the why, the where, and the "are you fucking kidding me" of these travel restrictions. First up on our hit parade of You Shall Not Pass is Estonia. Estonia was one of the first countries to slam the door shut on Russian tourists back in 2022. No more leisurely strolls through Tallinn's Old Town, no more indulging in the local delicacies. It's about sending a clear message to the Kremlin that their actions have consequences. There are exceptions for humanitarian reasons, family visits, and the like, but for your average Ivan wanting a weekend getaway, Estonia's response is a resounding Nee-Het. Next up, we hop over to Latvia, another Baltic beauty with a bone to pick with Russia. They too decided to join the No Russians Allowed club back in 2022. Latvia's ban is mainly focused on Russian citizens traveling for tourism or leisure. Latvia, like its Baltic brethren, has been on the receiving end of Russia's special military operations before. Latvia has locked the door, hidden the key, and is currently changing its phone number. Hold up folks, because we're on a roll here. Next up, Lithuania. Yes, the Baltic trio is officially complete and they are united in their message to Russia. Go home, you're drunk. Lithuania, much like its neighbors, implemented its travel ban in 2022, citing security concerns. They're not just concerned about Russian tanks rolling across the border, they're worried about the insidious creep of misinformation and disinformation. Lithuania isn't buying what Russia's selling, not anymore. Chapter 4, Finland. We're closed, but also, welcome. Take Finland for example. Land of saunas, heavy metal, and a very long border with Russia. This Nordic country is known for its unique blend of cultural traditions and modern lifestyle. From the soothing heat of its countless saunas to the electrifying energy of its heavy metal concerts, Finland offers a diverse experience. And let's not forget its extensive border with Russia, stretching over 1,300 kilometers, which has always been a significant aspect of its geopolitical landscape. They too joined the party and shut their doors to Russian tourists in 2022. This decision was part of a broader European response to the geopolitical tensions in the region. The closure of the border to Russian tourists marked a significant shift in Finland's approach to its eastern neighbor. It wasn't an easy decision, given the historical and economic ties between the two countries, but it was deemed necessary for national security and solidarity with other European nations. Finland's ban comes with a side of it's complicated. The relationship between Finland and Russia has always been multifaceted, involving a mix of cooperation and caution. The recent ban on Russian tourists is a reflection of this complexity. On one hand, Finland needs to ensure its security and align with the broader European stance. On the other hand, it has to manage the economic and social impacts of such a decision, especially in regions close to the border where cross-border interactions were a part of daily life. While Finland is saying no to Russian tourists, they're also leaving the door open for other types of travel. This nuanced approach allows Finland to maintain essential connections and support humanitarian efforts. The country recognizes the importance of keeping certain channels open, even amidst heightened security concerns. This means that while the general tourist traffic from Russia has been halted, there are still provisions for specific types of travel that are deemed necessary or beneficial. Family visits, business trips, humanitarian reasons, these are all still on the table. Finland understands that completely severing ties is neither practical nor humane. By allowing these exceptions, the country ensures that families can stay connected, businesses can continue to operate, and humanitarian aid can reach those in need. This balanced approach aims to mitigate the negative impacts of the travel ban while still addressing the security concerns that prompted it. Finland's trying to walk a tightrope here, balancing security concerns with its long-standing ties to Russia. The country is navigating a complex geopolitical landscape where every decision has far-reaching implications. By carefully managing its policies, Finland hopes to maintain stability and security while preserving its important relationships. This delicate balancing act is a testament to Finland's strategic diplomacy and its commitment to both national and regional stability. Chapter 5, Poland. Not at My Pierogi Party. Poland wasted no time in joining the Russians? No. Thanks Club back in 2022. For Poland, this is about solidarity with Ukraine, a country they see as a fellow victim of Russian aggression. Poland has its own long and complicated history with Russia, filled with invasions and occupations. They're not exactly thrilled about the prospect of Russian tourists strolling through Krakow's Market Square. Poland's decided that they've had enough drama to last a lifetime. Chapter 6, Czech Republic Visa, more like visa denied. The Czechs, ever the pragmatists, decided to take a slightly different approach. Instead of a blanket ban, they opted for a more targeted approach. No more visas for Russian citizens. Back in February 2022, they quietly shut down their embassy's visa section. There are exceptions for humanitarian cases, family reunifications, and the like. The Czech Republic's stance is all about sending a clear message. We stand with Ukraine. Next up, we waltz over to Slovakia, a country that's often overshadowed by its more famous neighbors. They joined the EU Conga line of Nope back in 2022, closing their borders to Russian tourists. Slovakia has its own reasons for wanting to keep Russian tourists out. Remember Czechoslovakia? Slovakia hasn't forgotten the whole Soviet invasion thing back in 1968. Slovakia's decision is rooted in a long and complicated history with Russia. They've seen this movie before and they know how it ends. Hold on to your hygge, folks, because we're headed north to Denmark. Denmark joined the EU's collective decision to restrict entry for Russian tourists. Even the most peace-loving Dane has their limits. Denmark is no stranger to Russian aggression. They've joined the ranks of countries saying no to Russian tourists. They're not backing down anytime soon. Hold on to your frites, folks, because we're about to waffle on about Belgium. Belgium, much like the waffles it's famous for, is a country of nuanced flavors. When the EU decided to close its doors to Russian tourists, Belgium didn't hesitate to join the party. Belgium has its own reasons for wanting to keep Russian tourists out. Belgium's decided to save themselves the trouble and just not invite Russia to the party this time. They're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. Hold on to your clogs, folks, because we're headed to the land of windmills, canals, and a surprisingly blunt approach to international relations, the Netherlands. Known for its picturesque landscapes, tulip fields, and iconic windmills, the Netherlands is also a country that doesn't shy away from making its stance clear on the global stage. Whether it's about human rights, international law, or political integrity, the Dutch have a reputation for being straightforward and unapologetically honest. The Dutch are not afraid to speak their minds, especially when it comes to matters of international law and human rights. Their parliament often debates fiercely on these issues, and the public is equally vocal. Protests and rallies are common, as the Dutch people exercise their right to free speech and assembly. This strong sense of justice and advocacy for human rights is deeply ingrained in their culture. The Netherlands joined the EU consensus in restricting entry for Russian tourists. This decision wasn't made lightly. It reflects a broader European stance on the geopolitical tensions involving Russia. The Dutch government, in alignment with the EU, has implemented stringent measures at border controls and airports to ensure these restrictions are enforced effectively. The Netherlands has its own reasons for wanting to keep Russian tourists out. Beyond the EU's collective stance, the Dutch government has specific grievances and security concerns that drive this policy. News conferences and official statements have highlighted these issues, emphasizing the need for vigilance and caution in the current international climate. The Dutch, who lost 193 citizens in the MH17 disaster, haven't forgotten. The tragic downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 in 2014, which resulted in the loss of many Dutch lives, remains a painful memory. Memorials and vigils are held regularly to honor the victims, and the quest for justice continues to be a significant national issue. They're not about to let Russia off the hook. The Dutch government and its people are determined to hold those responsible accountable. Political protests, diplomatic actions, and media coverage all reflect a nation that is steadfast in its pursuit of justice and accountability. The relationship between the Netherlands and Russia remains tense, with the Dutch making it clear that they will not back down. So, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of 10 countries where Russian citizens might want to avoid booking their next vacation. The geopolitical landscape is constantly shifting, and travel advisories can change overnight. It's crucial to stay informed and aware of the latest developments. These travel restrictions are a direct response to Russia's actions in Ukraine. The international community has been vocal in its condemnation, leading to a series of sanctions and travel bans. This situation serves as a stark reminder of how interconnected our world is, and how the actions of one nation can ripple across the globe. Travel is a privilege, not a right. It's a chance to explore new cultures, meet new people, and experience the world in all its diversity. However, with this privilege comes responsibility. Governments have the duty to protect their citizens and maintain international peace and security. And when a country decides to invade its neighbor, it's only natural that other nations will take steps to protect their own security and interests. These measures are not just about punishing the aggressor, but also about safeguarding the global community. The hope is that through diplomatic pressure and economic sanctions, a peaceful resolution can be achieved. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on global travel restrictions and geopolitical news. Your engagement helps us bring you the latest and most accurate information. Stay tuned, stay informed, and see you next time.